and face shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up.
Welcome back to another episode of Lone Star College Football. Got Logan in the building with us again today. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Big 12 expansion on the heels of the Pac-12 falling apart. And it's no thanks to anybody but Deion Sanders and the Buffy the Buffaloes.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's kind of been an up and down roller coaster for the Big 12 because Texas and Oklahoma leave. And I thought the Big 12 was going to crumble. Then Yormark comes in. Dude's a fighter. He's doing great. He really is.
That's amazing.
I'm going to let you lead this, dude. I mean, Texas is leaving, so this doesn't affect Texas the way it does for Baylor. So you just read some new kind of news this from tonight. So you want to take it from here? Let's hear it, bud.
So yeah, we can start off with what I just read. Man saying that he has been getting multiple sources telling him that it is pretty much locked down that Colorado and Arizona are ultimately locks, depending on how close Kliavkoff can get to that Big 12 deal, which I don't think it's going to be anywhere near. But at the moment, as it stands, the Sun Devils and the Utes kind of aren't in the picture at the moment. And it also said that is more than likely to leave spots for some ACC teams, which they got a whole nother thing going on out there. But I think that could also help us out a lot too, depending on who the SEC takes.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in our other video that we made that the SEC could be holding out their schedule, like finalizing their schedule format to see about getting Clemson and maybe Florida State, which would leave the Big 12, if they want to dip into that ACC bucket, would leave them with UNC and Miami as the next two big dogs in the ACC that'd be looking for somewhere to go.
And also Pitt would be a pretty good partner for West Virginia as well, and Cincinnati.
That's true. And you also got to think about it this way. The Big 10, I find it pretty likely, especially if Colorado and Arizona dip to the Big 12. I find it kind of likely to see Oregon and Washington in the Big 10 soon, which kind of crumbles. I mean, not kind of, that really crumbles the Pac-12, which makes you wonder, why is Utah and Arizona State not trying to dip before this conference sinks? I know.
I don't get that either. I don't get it.
I've heard from Josh Pate that they've got 4 schools that will join the Pac-12 if needed. But the only name of those 4 that I can remember off the top of my head was San Diego State.
SMU, San Diego State, Fresno State.
I want to say Tulane. Tulane's popping in.
Tulane, that's who it was. That's who it was. Yep.
And that's not a Power 5 conference.
No,
I mean, to be fair, the Big 12 is really making a push right now. If they can pull it off, they're probably in great position to be the 3rd best conference in college football. I don't know if it makes it even close to number 1 and number 2, but at least you're not number 4, number 5, about to basically be a group of 5 conference.
I mean, I think that we are in a really good spot to be able to solidify ourselves as that 3rd of the Big 3 or Power 2, whatever it ends up being called, because the ACC is going to not make as much as the Big 12, especially whenever all the Magnificent 7, is what they're calling themselves, are wanting to have more pay because they're carrying the bottom half of the conference. Just like how Oregon, Washington, Utah, USC, UCLA have been doing for the Pac-12. But to get back to Colorado, Deion Sanders is driving that brand straight up. I want to say that they made $200,000 just for the spring game on ticket sales.
They sold out. I know they sold out.
I want to say it was about $200,000 just from that, just because Deion Sanders had been there for 2 or 3 months.
My question is, if you're the ACC, you got to know that other conferences are kind of peeping through the cracks to try to see who's willing to budge.
1,000%.
Shouldn't the ACC kind of be looking at Oregon and Washington since there's not really been too much smoke about them going to the Big 12? I think they'll go now. If Colorado and Arizona dip, they're going to fall. They have to go because it's a domino that's already falling. You've got to get out. But if I'm the ACC, I'm going to try to get ahead of this and say, okay, Oregon or Washington, we want you. If you go to the Big 10, okay, Utah and I guess Arizona State would be the next best option. You got to bring in somebody because if you're not bringing in people, then you're getting bumped back. And if you're getting bumped back, that means you're just you're the next bag that everybody else's hand is reaching into to try to get more puzzle pieces to fit into their conference. And I got to be honest, as a Texas fan, especially knowing that Texas and Oklahoma are really the ones starting all of the conference realignment stuff, I don't love it. I don't love it.
It's y'all's fault.
I like the idea of going to the SEC. I do. I don't love what it's doing to everything else, but I understand why it's doing it. And everybody's gonna say, "Oh, well, it's Texas, Oklahoma's fault." Well, let's remember, Texas and Oklahoma aren't the first school to ever leave a conference and go join another one. Okay. In fact, Colorado going to the Big 12. Fun fact for those of you listening at home, they've already left the Big 12 once.
And then they realize that they've lost $50 million over the past 12 or 13 years that they've been gone.
Yeah, it didn't work out for them. Nebraska used to be in the Big 12. A&M used to be in the Big 12. Well, it wasn't called the Big 12, I think, when Nebraska, whatever. It was Southeastern Conference. I don't know. I'm 24, guys. Okay. All y'all old heads, y'all might know more about what the conference was called. This is going to change the sport. We'll just have to see how it goes because it does get difficult as far as scheduling. When you end up with now the SEC, when Texas and Oklahoma join, they're going to be they're going to be 16 teams now.
Yep.
If we take Clemson and Florida State, we're going to have an 18-team conference when you're only playing 8, maybe 9 conference games. If you play 9, then you could play everybody in a 2-year span, except for a 9, you got the 3 protected games, so you're really only playing 6 other teams, which means it's going to take you 3 years to cycle through everybody. It makes it a little bit more difficult, but the hope is the feeling of college football doesn't change too terribly much throughout all of this. Fans stay in it, teams stay in it. We know that conference realignment is happening. We know that playoff expansion is happening. We know that NIL is blowing up, and there's really no regulations on anything to keep the wild, wild west from happening in the portal every year. And it just seems like we're in a position where it's going to take a couple of years for things to settle down. I don't know.
I think the main thing that realignment is doing is just changing the regionality of it. Like, you're not going to be able to see Baylor and Texas play. It might be 10, 15 years till we play again, unless it's a bowl game. Yeah. That's not going to be a scheduled game.
We're just going to have to make the playoffs and play against each other, man.
I mean, I'm down. I'm 100% down.
This is the big question, okay? Because the people watching this video, some of them might just be Colorado fans wanting to see what's going on. But for the Baylor fans, as a Baylor guy, what do you think this does for Baylor? Is this helping y'all? Is it hurting y'all? Is it neutral? Do you think that without Colorado, Baylor has a shot at running the new Big 12 in 2024 on? Do you think, okay, Dion, he's going to be in Colorado for a couple years. He'll probably dip to a better job. All those players will leave. Colorado will tank again and be a nobody that Baylor can beat up on. What's the feel from the old green and gold fan base?
So initial thought would be the last one that you said was where Dion comes into the Big 12, runs it, gets offered a job whenever Nick Saban retires or whatever. So he's going to get a better job offer. Now, will he stay in Colorado? Exactly. But does he stay in Colorado? part of me wants to say yes. That way he can keep that Texas recruiting footprint. But if he also goes to an A&M, he's there. He's there. Because his whole family from the DFW area. And I think it will help him being able to play games in Texas, especially around Central Texas, whenever he goes to TCU, whenever he comes to Waco, and everything like that. Now, whenever his sons graduate, both of his kids, who knows where he goes? Because a lot of coaches are like that. But same time, he's been able to do so much for that college already. Like, they've been getting 4- and 5-star guys out of the transfer portal. They've picked up the top the best corner in the past 2 classes.
Yeah.
Colorado's never done that before. And if he's there, the Buffaloes are a scary team. Like, I would not want to play them every year if he is still there and they're still getting those top guys like he is now. But on the flip side of that, if he leaves and they turn into Kansas of old, no disrespect to the Jayhawks, they're pretty good now, decently so. But I don't know. At the moment, it sounds like a money-making move for the Big 12. Now, down the road, whenever a new contract comes up, it might be a different story.
Colorado has 50 incoming transfer portal guys.
I think they lost about 75 somewhere.
They've lost a lot, but they're 50 with their 25 whatever commits to the class, and they're it's actually kind of crazy. There's been such a fluctuation. It's hard to know if they're going to be able to actually have their team play as a coherent group, considering how short they've been a team where all these guys are 50 new guys on campus. That's insanity.
Yep.
Now, I guess a decent amount of them, give or take, came from Jackson State, so they've played as a team. But a lot of them didn't. And a lot of them are coming from other schools where maybe they weren't getting the playing time they wanted, or they got as much as they wanted, but it was a lower school and they're trying to move up into Power 5 ranks. So I think Colorado is going to be okay. I was listening to somebody, I think it was a Cover 3 podcast, and they were saying that they think they're going to start off 0-2. They're going to lose to TCU and lose to Nebraska. I don't know about that. I think TCU is going to have a lot of struggle. They're not going to maintain what they did last year, but they're going to have struggle getting anywhere near that. In Nebraska, don't get me wrong, I think Matt Rule's a solid coach.
I think that's the only step ahead of them that they have would be Matt Rule.
Casey Thompson, as you know, Texas fans, we know him, and he wasn't terrible. He was solid for the most part. He dipped again. He's gone.
Yep.
So I don't know what they've got, but I don't think Dion is going to be at Colorado and fail.
No.
In fact, my bold prediction that I said in a long video way ago is that in year 2, 2024 season, Buffalo, the Buffs in Colorado, I think they can make the playoffs. I think they can make the 12-team playoff.
I think so too.
Because I think they're going to recruit well enough. So, and transfer portals like no other. Yeah.
Like he said a long time ago, they're coming. I mean, that's just straight up what it is. And he's proved that. As soon as he walked in the door, he told them guys, go ahead and pack their bags. If they don't want to work and earn their spots, go ahead and pack your bags because he's bringing his. And it's Louis. Imagine that. I don't know. But
walking in campus saying, my son's coming, he's the quarterback. If you're another quarterback on this roster, you might as well leave.
Yep.
It's rough. Nobody else is getting away with that but Coach Prime. This ain't happening.
No.
I'll say as a guy who's a Longhorn fan but recently been supporting the Bears over there, sick 'em. I know, let's go. Yeah, man, I think I think Colorado is going to be in a prime position to do something decent in the Big 12. And I think if Utah does join the Big 12, I think Utah is running it. I think they run away with it. I don't see a current team in the Big 12. I will say, except I hate them. I hate them. Texas Tech seems like Joe McGuire is actually doing some pretty nice things over there. No, don't say go Joey.
I do like Joey.
I don't care. He coaches at Tech. You can't like him anymore. But Texas Tech does seem like they're building something over there. They're in Lubbock, so I think they definitely have a cap for as good as they can get. I think Utah could run it. I think Kansas State is going to continue to have the mild success, and then they'll drop off a little bit and then kind of come back up a little bit. TCU, Sonny Dykes is good. I don't think they'll be as good as last year, but I don't expect them to be 2-10.
Yeah.
Kansas, if Lance Leipold, if he stays at Kansas, I think the Jayhawks could be on to something, dude. Golly, they were like 6-0 last year when Daniels got hurt, or 5-0, something like
the man
that.
Jason Bean came in.
Yeah, the man, the myth, the garbage. Jason Bean came in and went like 1-6 or 1-5 or something, and then Daniels came back in the season just in time to get destroyed by Texas. So we appreciate that. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. That's all we can do is just sit around and wait. I'm glad there's something to talk about for college football.
Yeah, definitely. Now, last thing that I'm going to add is that the ACC schools are going to be up for question because they have a stupid long grain of rights that isn't over until 2036. So there's no telling how much they would have to pay. I want to say last I saw it was like $110 million to break that. But at the same time,
but if you split it between all the teams, that ain't that bad.
I mean, it's per school though. It's not for the whole conference. Yeah, it's bad. Right. So who knows if they're going to find a way legally to get out of it, if they even try. I don't know. It's not going to be fun. I mean, my thing is, do we take the four corner schools? Do we try to bring on Arizona State and Utah? Or do we wait?
If they'll go, you take them. You don't turn them down.
I mean, I think that we go ahead and take the four corner schools and then turn around, pick up whatever we can out of the Magnificent Seven.
Because after Texas and Oklahoma leave, even if you add the four corner schools, you'll be at 16. So you could still take Miami and UNC if you wanted to. And UNC, along with Kansas, helps the basketball for the Big 12.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, you take them. If you can get them, you take them. You don't turn them down. You can't. Because
I don't think so either. I don't think we're in the position to turn people down as far as already Power 5 schools.
Yeah, no, you take them. Lock it in. That's all I got. You got anything else to add to this? It's exciting, but it's just hurry up and wait at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's been all pretty much off season. We've been seeing stuff about Colorado and Arizona State and Utah to the Big 12 since Kleofkoff started their contract negotiations. But it is, at the time of recording, it is June 4th. Haven't heard a peep about any of it. Besides, we might go all streaming. We might do all whatever. As far as I know, they'll be on like Hulu Live Sports, and that's it.
And I won't be watching, so.
Nope, I ain't paying it.
Nope. Ain't gonna happen, Captain.
But yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, with that being said, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. And we know it's been a minute since we've been on, but we're getting closer and closer to football. Summer camp starting in, I don't know, a couple weeks. So we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back on here, hopefully more regularly. Do us a favor. Check us out at LoneStar_CFB on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. Check Jason Watkins at Birdie Man Dub on Twitter and HOF College Football Podcast over here on YouTube. And if you've read this scrolling text from beginning of the video, give Casey Crutcher a call at 903-948-5195 at Rollo Insurance. See what he can save you on your health insurance and auto and life, health, business, commercial, home, everything. He's got it all. He can do it all. Just give him a call. It's free. Doesn't cost you nothing. If you live in the state of Texas, New Mexico, Utah, Georgia, Colorado, Oklahoma, or Tennessee, it doesn't cost you a penny. He saved us $40 a month, helped us out big time. With that being said, appreciate y'all rocking with us. Until next time, we'll throw up a sick'em for this one.
Yo, sickle.